Welcome to the bush. Haha, it's Mardi Gras season. We're going to celebrate Mardi Gras here in this cedar grove. And we're going to have us a little fun night building my very first debris shelter. And we're going to have a shrimp boil in the woods. So I was here the other day and I found this tree that just happens to be leaned over like so. And I'm thinking, lean-to debris shelter. Let's get started. And just like that, boys and girls, a good long ferro rod into some newspapers will start a fire. How cool is that? A good long ferro rod is better than a Bic as far as I'm concerned, because it produces good, hot, molten pieces of metal when you shave them off of it. And it's good for the ferro rod I just got a new one here. This ferro rod is good for like 20,000 strikes, supposedly. So I know that's advertising, but even if I get 10,000 strikes out of this, how cool is that? So as you can see, I grabbed some leaves that I just raked up off the forest floor, and I just tried to just make a couple inches of bedding, not an extreme amount. It doesn't take very much, just something to smooth it out and make it so it's not too lumpy. And I have, of course, the Hutchins roll here, but instead of stuffing anything inside the Hutchins roll, I'm simply just going to use the Hutchins roll as a ground cloth. And I'm just going to lay it out with the wax side down. And then I'll just put my my bedroll right on top of it. This is a really cool trick. It's a really simple thing, but it's a smart thing to do. The campfire is a little bit uphill from where I'm camping. So in order to prevent any logs from rolling downhill, into my bedroll and getting burned or hurt, you can just simply take a fairly green log and lay it down, you know, in front of your bed. And that'll just kind of give you a barrier. If any log happens to run down from the fire, it'll hit that instead of running into your blankets and stuff. I don't know what's gotten into me, but I went all day without having a step 2. I'm afraid I put step 3 in front of step 2. Boy, that tastes good after you've worked hard all day. I actually haven't worked hard all day. It only took me really 2.5, maybe 3 hours at the most to get all this, you know, diligently working to get the shelter and everything in place. I didn't get started till 4:30 actually today, so I kind of hurried up and got everything done because the sun was going to go down in just a couple hours. But I did. I got everything taken care of. And you might notice that there was a slight wardrobe change. And, well, I'll tell you why. First thing I had to do was put on a long sleeve shirt because I learned my lesson. You do not want to handle a bunch of cedar branches with short sleeves because it'll tear your arms up. So I put on long sleeves, and then I ripped the crotch out of my pants. These pants are getting pretty thin, but yeah, there's a pretty big gash there, and my junk was hanging out, so I had to put on my sweatpants, but luckily I had some packed. I'm enjoying this step 2, and here pretty soon we're going to get some water boiling and season it up, because an ode to my friends in Louisiana, as you can see from my beads, it is Mardi Gras, and we're going to celebrate with a good old-fashioned shrimp boil.
So I'm not going to lie, because I consider this to be reality TV. So, I mean real reality TV, not Discovery Channel, History Channel, whatever, Naked and Afraid. And no, this is real reality TV. At about 11 o'clock, I crawled in my sleeping bag and passed out. I was tired enough that I crawled in my sleeping bag. It's 3:30 a.m. and I'm now enjoying my supper. Am I up for the day? Hell no. I'm going to go back to bed and I'm going to probably sleep till noon. I sleep in when I'm in the bush. I sleep in when I'm at home. I'm a sleeper inner. But these potatoes sat in the kettle over the fire the whole entire time I was passed out, and they soaked up all the heat from the seasoning that I used. So these potatoes are hot as balls. So don't be surprised if I wake up today, tomorrow, whatever day it is, and have a dire situation. We play for some guys in Louisiana. We play music for them. Dwayne Smith, Kyle Smith, those guys down there, they make their own seasoning. Dwayne's does. Dwayne's Kyle's dad. And, oh man, his seasoning is like, you're just not going to get a better seafood seasoning than that. I mean, it's just where it's at. Big shout out to those guys down there in Louisiana. It's a really good time going down there and playing. We've been going down there for over 10 years now. My butthole is not going to be happy with me tomorrow. You know it's spicy when you find yourself breathing in like that. Get that cold air on your tongue. That's when you know it's spicy. Well, I'm pretty satisfied, to say the least. Bushcrafting season is going to be over in a month and a half, or a month or so. Once the mosquitoes and ticks come out, I'm done bushcrafting. I'm not going to be sleeping on the ground during tick season. I'm not going to be out here under the open air during mosquito season. Although I did buy a mosquito repeller. We'll see how it works. I forget what it's called. Theracell, Thermacell. I bought a Thermacell. So, I'm going to give it a try. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, hanging out in these cedars during peak heat and bug season's probably not going to be my bag, but I plan on doing more camping in the pop-up camper and the van, which both have air conditioning. So, okay. So, Kristen got me this stocking cap. It's really, really cool. It has this light built into it. So, you got a stocking cap and a headlamp all in one. And it works pretty good. Anyway, here's what's really cool about it. You can take it and pop it out of the stocking cap. You can pop the light itself out, right? And it has a USB connector on it, and you just plug it into the USB You can plug it into a wall wart or a computer or anything and charge it. So it's pretty cool. I'd just like to say thank you to Little Shooter for hooking me up with this really awesome stocking cap. And although it's late in the season, I'll get some good use. I'll get some good use out of it come next winter. Anyway, it's getting really, really late because I had an impromptu nap that I didn't plan on taking. So, gonna do some relaxation and hopefully get some sleep. And when I wake up, it's gonna be really, really warm tomorrow. They're talking 69 degrees Fahrenheit. So, I bet I'll be unzipping this bad boy. Anyway, thank you all. I will see you all in the morning. And if my orifices are not on fire, I will have a little discussion with y'all about Mardi Gras and the origination behind it, the reason why people give up meat for Lent, beyond the religious connotation. So, one of the things I plan to do this year is eat more with the seasons. So anyway, I am going to get some sleep. I will see you all tomorrow. You know, I like a firm mattress, but this one was on the edge of being too firm. Oh. One of the things that I learned is I don't skimp on a hairbrush anymore. I went ahead and got a good wet brush, full-sized brush to take with me into the bush because those little brushes were just ripping my hair out. And I wake up with my hair so tangly. And I must move around a lot at night because my hair is always a rat's nest, especially when I sleep in the bush. So I don't skimp on a hairbrush. I bring the real deal out in the woods with me. A lot of people build really fancy pot hanging systems, tripods, and all kinds of contraptions that take hours to make just to hang a pot over a fire. And it doesn't have to be that complicated. As you seen last night doing the shrimp boil, and right now boiling my water for coffee. It's very simple. Just a stick shoved into the ground. I ran it through my reflector wall to kind of hold it in place. And there you go. You don't have to notch it. You don't have to do any of that fancy stuff. And the ground is really soft right now, so just a pointy stick, and you can literally shove it in the ground at an angle, whatever angle you need, and to suspend it, and it'll hold a pot, especially not a big pot, you know. So don't overthink it. Well, as Corporal Sean Kelly would say, there you have it. Debris hut, Mardi Gras shrimp boil in the woods. Let's talk a little bit about this shelter.
Debris shelter is really simple to build. That's why I just showed the building process during the opening credits or during the opening song. It's very simple. You just want to start piling sticks up until you've got it to where it'll hold some leaves and debris. Boughs, I used cedar boughs in this case. And you're just building a nest is what you're doing. If humans were nesting creatures, I would gather that this is probably what a human nest would look like. Very simple. Did put a reflector wall up. It caught fire and burned in two. You'll have that. Next time I'll keep it back a little bit. But one thing that I wanted to note on, the Wiggy's bag, the Hunter Antarctic sleeping bag. When I went to bed last night, it was, or I guess I should say early this morning, when I went to bed this morning, it was 35 degrees out. I was roasty toasty, just perfectly fine in that Wiggy's bag. And when I got up today, it was already 58 degrees out. And all I did was unzip the side a little bit to let some air in. But the lamellite material that they use in these bags, there must be something rocket science about it. There must be something really cool about it, because the Wiggy's bag seems to maintain the same internal temperature regardless of what it is outside. I seem to be comfortable inside that bag. So there's some magic going on there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but I can use this bag from all the way up to 50 degrees. So I'm really, really happy about that. The only downfall, again, is it's really big, so I might just go for a smaller bag that's easier to carry. So far, I have had no fiery poops yet. The shrimp turned out amazing. It's that Dwayne Smith seasoning. That stuff is just incredible. The shrimp boil was awesome. Everything was good. I got a pretty good sleep after I finally got to sleep and stayed asleep. So I'm gonna let you all go now. But during the closing song here, I'm gonna do a little speech on Mardi Gras, the changing of the season, and the changing of our diets during this time of year. So I hope you all enjoy. Thanks everybody for watching. And as always, I will see you next time in the bush.
I was born and raised in the Catholic Church, and we always celebrated the Lenten season pretty heavily in the Catholic faith. But there's also a regular life, a non-religious application to it, and that is simply the fact that in the days before the advent of refrigeration, many people would store their meat out where it was cold enough that it would freeze and preserve the meat. But then, as spring comes and the weather warms up, you're no longer able to preserve meat as well. So you have to switch to a more vegetarian-style diet. That brings us to Mardi Gras and the word carnival. We know Mardi Gras is a big carnival, and a lot of churches celebrate carnivals. The word carnival is based on the word carn, which is also part of the word carnivore, which means, meat eating. The word carnival, some believe that it originally meant the end of meat, or no more meat, and it symbolized the switch from eating a diet high in meat to eating a diet high in vegetable matter. And so now you see people giving up meat during the Lenten season, and I believe this is a lot of the reason for this from a non-religious perspective.